Hey movers, thank you so much for practicing with me today. We are moving through a special request that was from one of you. So we have shoulder stand and plow combination. So this is a great way to release your neck and your shoulders. It's a great way to bring you into Shavasana towards the end of a practice, to close a practice. You do have to be quite warmed up to do this pose, I would say comfortably. So I would recommend doing one of my other practices before you go through this tutorial. I'm gonna take you through a bridge pose to warm up a little bit, into shoulder stand, into plow, and we will move through kind of the alignment. And I'm going to encourage you to watch me do this first as I demonstrate, just so that you won't be cranking your neck when you're up there, which is not fun. So protect your neck and please watch this first. So I'm going to show you a few things that you can do if you have a block or a book or a cushion that you can pop underneath your lower spine if coming up into a full shoulder stand doesn't work for you today. So I will get to this. So grab that if you do want to see those variations. So let's first come into our bridge pose. So lie down onto your back body. Make sure your feet are about your hips distance, your ankles aligned just about underneath your knees. Your arms are down at your sides. Keep the back of the neck nice and long. And once you're up there, try not to move your neck side to side, okay? So just for safety purposes, keep the back of the neck nice and long. All right, inhale, ground down through the heels, lift up through the hips. Breathe here and just get the feeling here in your bridge pose. Firm your inner thighs, firm your glutes. Really root down through your heels. Feel that opening across the chest. Take one more breath. And exhale, slowly lower down. All right, the first variation that I'm going to show you, actually I'll do that without the block first, or without your book, is you're just going to take the legs directly up towards the sky. Now once you're here, I want you to draw the belly down, down towards your mat. Firm your inner thighs, try to point those toes to keep the legs nice and active, and you're just going to hang out here. You can also do this up against a wall. Okay, so this is waterfall pose. This one's a little more active, obviously, because you have nothing behind the legs for support, but this just gives you close to a feeling of shoulder stand, and it helps kind of reverse that blood flow as well. It's also a pretty good workout for your core. Now, if you do have that prop, you can also do the same pose and place it underneath your sacrum or your lower spine here. So find something that feels comfortable. You don't want it up too high or too low. And then take the legs up. So you can do this variation. Once again, try to stay nice and engaged, or if you have a wall, you can take the legs up against the wall here for a more relaxing variation. So like I said, this one is pretty active. My legs are feeling this already. Just take one more breath and exhale. We will release down. All right, so to come into shoulder stand, you do need a bit of core strength. So if you feel strong enough to use your upper arms to really press down into the earth and use your core to send the legs up, you can take shoulder stand this way by just sending the legs straight up. Or if you do need, and I wouldn't recommend for doing to kind of overdo this entry, but if you do need a little bit of momentum, you can take a little rock, press down through the upper arms, use the elbows as a support mechanism, and send the legs straight up. Now, once you're here, draw those elbows in as close to you as you can and try to walk the hands as high up the back as possible. Okay, you don't want the elbows to be out too wide here. And really important, as I said in the beginning, to keep the back of the neck long. Now, notice how I keep my legs nice and engaged. I'm still firming the inner thighs. I'm pointing my toes. I'm firming my glutes. And I'm just going to hang out here. Adjust as you need to. Firm your core. Sometimes you'll see, a little bit of play in here as well. So you can kind of maybe tap one leg back if you feel comfortable, tap the other. So I would say if you are a beginner practitioner into shoulder stand and plow, don't worry too much kind of about the super straight line. Worry about engaging and making sure that you can hold it here. Okay, go ahead and take the legs overhead into halasana, into your plow pose. And don't worry, the feet don't have to touch. If you have that block, you can also come out of this pose and place the block or the book underneath your feet. I know that the breath gets a little bit shallow here, but try to stay steady. And try to create some space between your neck and your chest. Keep the core nice and engaged, and you can either keep the hands on the lower back for support, or sometimes I'll take my hands all the way down and just use your core to slowly, slowly exit the pose. You're going to bring the spine down, vertebrae by vertebrae if you can, all the way down to the mat. And we're just going to neutralize the spine in Shavasana here. So I always find quite a nice release for my neck and shoulders after this. So just observe how that went for you and observe where you can engage a little bit more. Observe whether you want to use that wall for a little while. And just stay here resting. Like I said, this pose is a great way to carry you into a state of relaxation. So stay here for as long as it feels good. Maybe get up and try again. Thank you so much for practicing with me. Namaste.